because we get really stuck in looking at our current circumstances and wondering how they'll ever improve. A negative vibration when you're doing a task is going to attract back to it negative results. This way of awareness, this way of thinking, the ability to choose our thoughts, that's power. Welcome, everyone. I'm Catherine Arkema. I'm your host, and my guest today is Sandy Rutherford. She is my co-host for today, and we're going to be talking about overcoming fear with faith because there's a lot going on right now, and so we thought this would be a really great discussion on it. Let's first off, I want to introduce you to Sandy because I met Sandy 2 years ago now, maybe, Sandy? I believe, something like that ago.
Yep.
Sandy was my own personal mentor and coach. I reached a point in my own career where I was stuck and I needed some help. I needed some help with shifting my mindset. And I came along her live one day and the rest was history. We started working together. And now we both work at coaching people in mindset and helping them to achieve the success they want. And so some of the areas that we work at, well, one of the areas is fear and overcoming fear, especially in today's economy, because we get really stuck in looking at our current circumstances and wondering how they'll ever improve. Would you agree, Sandy?
Oh, without a doubt. This is a timely topic for these challenging times, without a doubt.
Yeah. It's called the report card syndrome. It's when we look at our current circumstances or our current situation and we're like, how am I going to make this change? Like, how am I going to make my bank account change? How am I going to, and people being laid off, and we look at it and we think, this is impossible. It's not going to happen. And we get sucked into the news and it creates this real low level vibration in our body. And what happens when we have this low level vibration is, well, on a scientific level, we start attracting negative results into our life. It's like a downward spiral of injecting fear and doubt and worry. And it actually causes disintegration in our body and it causes us to lose momentum to what we actually want. Agree?
Yeah. Absolutely. I've got a saying, what if spun negatively is fear? What if ... spun positively is faith? And we're conditioned to go to negative. But what if this happens? What if I, say, a good example is public speaking. Maybe you're an expert and you're asked to come up on stage and speak. Well, I'd love to, but I know I'm passionate about what I do and I could convey such great information and really touch people's lives. But what if I'm not a very good speaker? What if I fall? What if they laugh at me? What if nobody's like, what if?
Yeah.
But that's all imaginary. So why don't we use the polar opposite? What if I do a great job? What if everybody loves me? What if it's packed? What if I impact people's lives? But we tend to go to the negative. And in these circumstances, we're really doing that in this challenging environment where we keep spinning negatively, and it's a choice.
It is a choice. Absolutely. We can have perspective on everything. So in every situation, there's equal negative and positive to everything. So in every negative situation, there is an equal positive to it. And so we become so magnetized and so glued on the limit, the what ifs in a negative way, that we can't seem to get ourselves out of it. We spend our days, and it impacts our health. We resort to other ways in which coping with this fear and this doubt and worry, which eventually manifests itself into anxiety, because we start out with doubt and worry. We look at the news or we think, what if I'm asked to do this one thing? I'm asked to talk. What if it goes bad? What if I don't know what to say?
Right.
What if I fail at this? And it turns into emotionally becoming fear. And so we connect with the fear. And then when we suppress that fear, it becomes anxiety and we get stuck in this. And so over this past year of 2020, I would say there's been a number of people who started out with doubt and worry, emotionally connected with fear, and has created anxiety in their body. And anxiety leads to dis-ease and depression and staying down. So to improve our health, to improve our business, to improve our relationships, because when we connect with that fear, doubt, and worry, it impacts our lives in so many negative ways, not just in the bank book, not just at work. It overflows into our family lives.
Everything.
Yeah.
I mean, all those words you just mentioned. So, doubt, worry, fear, anxiety, depression, disintegration, disease. That's all. If you even just saying those words, you
Mm-hmm.
kind of
Yeah.
feel, yeah, exactly. Whereas you go the polar opposite and talk about, understanding, faith, well-being, growth, acceleration, at ease. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like I feel better. Just so it's interesting. I did a talk yesterday on vibration, and everything's vibration. Like, actually, we only have what a colleague of ours said one day. We only have one goal. I said, what? What do you mean? She goes, your vibration's your goal. Get your vibration high.
Oh,
Wow,
so wise. I love
interesting. And doubt and fear just are anchors on our vibration. But we have to understand, we got to be aware of our vibration, because we can do things immediately to impact our vibration, immediately to shift it. We have a choice, but we get stuck in this downward spiral, which is awful. But yeah, there's your goal, vibration.
Vibration. It should be. It should be the thing that you are focused on, is keeping that upper level vibration. So what are some of your funk busters? What can we tell people, if you're really feeling down, what are some funk busters that you would be like, get me out of this feeling, get me out of this trap? Because we know that it's a rabbit hole. When you start worrying about it, it will magnify. You'll be like, all of a sudden it's more and more and more. And the negative thoughts is like this chatter that multiplies.
Well, I use two words: dwelling on or ruminating.
Yeah.
Right? Dwelling on means to repeatedly think about. What if this happens? What if and it's awful, right? So, and to be fair, we all go there. It's just some of us are getting more adept because our awareness has gone up. We are becoming more adept at catching it. Why am I doing that? Okay, I choose not to, right? And we can course correct. So yeah, I mean, I call it, you mentioned funk busters. So we all get in funks. That's normal.
Yeah.
But we don't want to stay down there. So I always tell clients, create your own playlist of funk busters, and that could be fabulous music. You get up and dance. I was doing it this morning with a few different Michael Bublé songs. So it could be songs. It could be motivational videos. It could be just going for a walk. It could be playing with your dog or your kids. Call it watching an episode of Friends, right? Calling a great friend or relative that raises, right? Get you out of your funk. So it's important to know those, because when we do get into that funk, we're in a brain fog.
Yeah. Absolutely. And like when we talk about that, so, you personally, you can be at home and you can experience that, but even in your business, when you're going to go take on a task, when you're going to apply something to your business and you're down and you're in that funk, stop.
Yep.
Because a negative vibration when you're doing a task is going to attract back to it negative results.
Right.
So
that's a big thing. People don't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah. So taking a step back instead of grinding and hustling in a negative sense, and to increase your level of vibration and to find a little joy and find something that makes you feel good again and reconnect with that, and then go at a task from a point of higher level of vibration, is going to create incredible results. We see this with people on social media all the time, where two people can put out the same post, but the level of vibration in which they come at it is completely impacted and felt differently. Yeah. And so it impacts the results that they get from this. And so if you're feeling like, I'm doing this, but I feel horrible, I'm down, I'm negative, I'm begrudging doing something, you shouldn't be doing it.
Right. And the opposite's true. Right? It's like say you've got prospects to call.
Yeah.
Well, don't call them when you're down. Don't call them when you've had 3-5 no's in a row. When's the best time to call a prospect? When you've had a yes.
Yeah.
As soon as you get a yes, make 5 more calls. You're in an amazing vibration, right?
That's right. It multiplies on
that. You were awesome at that.
Well, when you feel it, you should actually ride that out. It's like the wave, right? There's this law of rhythm, and you want to ride that out. When you're feeling incredible,
yeah,
roll with it, go with it. Intuitively, you're going to have more ideas. The inspiration's going to flow. You're going to get in gear, and you're going to stop worrying about the circumstances.
Right.
You stop focusing on, oh no, what can go wrong, what's not working, oh no, COVID, you're going to stop with you're going to let that go. You're going to let that go, and you're going to get on a higher level of vibration, and you're just going to, it's called flow. When people are in it, they're like, I'm in the flow.
Yeah.
High vibe.
The zone, right? I'm in the zone.
In the zone. Yeah, exactly.
Well, those are words describing our vibration.
Yes, they are. Absolutely.
Right? They absolutely are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And to another way to get into a higher level of vibration is gratitude.
Totally.
Yeah. It's one of those things that I think we hear it a lot. Everybody be grateful, but they don't really understand the power of what gratitude can do for your vibration and how it can raise it. If you're having trouble focusing on something, you need to find something you can be grateful for. I say, even if it's just that cup of coffee sitting in front of you, if you can look at it and be like, I am so grateful for this, with all the moms trying to do, and dads too, with all of us at home, trying to run businesses, trying to work from home while the kids are homeschooling and all that's going on. If you can say, I'm grateful to sit down for like 2 minutes in quiet and be grateful for this little moment, then that's the thing that you focus on being grateful for. If you can't say you're grateful for something and feel it, if you just say I'm grateful and it's just lip service, it's doing you no justice. It's not doing you any good.
You gotta feel it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm doing 21 days of gratitude right now. And that's, for those of you who don't know, if you want to check out the book called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne, who was the author who wrote The Secret, it's all on gratitude. That's what the magic is. It's all about gratitude. And it gets us to dive deeper. So sometimes you go, well, what else can I be grateful for? Oh my, when you do this book, there's so much to be grateful for. Like this morning we were talking about, the heat coming into your home, or the hot water coming out of the taps. What about the people who dug the trenches to put the pipes in, to take the pipes from downtown up to what about all those people, right? What about the people who made the clothes that you're wearing? To be great, like, it really takes gratitude to a whole different level. And yeah, I agree with you. Gratitude is the thing that will most quickly shift your vibration. So it's the best tool to have in your back pocket.
Absolutely. And here's the thing, you can't hold two emotions and things at once. You can't be angry and grateful for something at the same time. Right. So if you're feeling the fear or doubt of all that's going on, you need to shift it. You need to find the gratitude. You need to find something that makes you feel the warm and fuzzies. And the thing with gratitude, it can be something that you are envisioning for your future too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right. So if you're in a current circumstance where you're like, no, this is a troubling time for me, then shift your gratitude focus and go to your imagination. We have these faculties, these tools we've been gifted with, and imagination is one of them. And we have the ability to go and create the image that we want to see. They say going into the future and see how you want it to project out. And so if you're in this current situation and you're like, you know what, I need to get out of this, then maybe it's taking yourself to imagination of where you want to be. Is it outdoors? Is it, spending time in the summer camping with family? Like it can be a future goal. It can be an experience, and go there and feel that emotion. You can actually incorporate your senses into visualization too. So, I'll say to my clients, if their visualization is owning a certain type of house, well, are you standing on cool, wet grass with your feet? Can you feel it when you're in that visualization? And you'll notice the shift that actually happens in your body when you start to connect with that emotionally, right?
Absolutely.
I love visualization. It's one of my biggest funk busters. So if I find myself going, wait, like, stop this. I used to say to Sandy, it's like swatting flies, the negative thoughts. Multiply. Like, get rid of that. I don't have time for this negative thought. Just get out of here. And so it's like swatting a fly. And it can be like that, where when you get in good levels of vibration, and when you start to become more aware of the power of your thoughts and then manifesting into your life, and then the controlling action that it has over your life, when you realize that negative thoughts can have a very big impact on your success, you start to be very aware of them and say, no, like, I am not going there. And So yeah, they almost become such an annoyance, like a fly, and getting
Well,
rid of them.
and that's where the awareness it all begins with an awareness, because when you think about it, we are using our imagination
Mhm.
all day long,
Yeah.
but we're not tuned into it. We're not aware. Right? You might be thinking of you might be worried or thinking about something that's coming up, and you're not even aware of it. Maybe you're making dinner, but you're going through it. We are constantly using our imagination. So, and it is one of the most powerful tools we have. So, if we're constantly using it and we can choose good things to imagine that make us feel good, why wouldn't we make the choice? But
Yes.
again, we're not conditioned to do that. And so this is all such a learning journey, as you and I both know. It is a journey, and we're all on it. But it's the best journey in the world, because it allows you to take more and more control, because you catch yourself, and again, you go, wait, why am I feeling low? Oh, well, I'm dwelling on something that happened yesterday. Well, what am I doing that for? I don't want to. Okay, I choose something different, right? So I just caught myself, course corrected, and now I'm feeling better.
Mhm.
That was me taking control. It's a great feeling.
Absolutely. Got to get that dopamine hit as much as we can. Right? We need to raise that level, of course. And that it impacts our body in hormonal ways inside, right? Like this way of awareness, this way of thinking, um, the ability to choose our thoughts. That's power. And when I didn't realize that I was not choosing, I was living by circumstances, I was living by emotions. We live by this, survival mode. We don't even realize it, that we're living like survival. We're looking at our circumstances. We're not creating the images. We're not creating the thoughts that we want. We're not envisioning them. We're not taking control. When we were gifted such incredible powers to be able to do this. So you have
Well,
senses: hear, see, smell, taste, touch, and that is what's happening right now in our economy, in our civilization right now. Is that there's a lot of bombardment in our senses, and so if we allow that to constantly seep into us emotionally, it changes the way we feel. What were you going to say there,
Well, yeah,
Sandy?
I mean, it's even more challenging in this environment, because we feel like we've had control taken away from us,
Mhm.
and yet
Absolutely.
it's understandable why, if you worked for a company and they've let you go, it's like, well, okay, that wasn't my choice, that was, but despite that, we still have choice of how we respond to the situation and create the path forward.
Mhm.
And the more you're focused on, what, you and I both work with Bob Proctor. And I
Mhm.
remember on a call, this was before you started, we were on a call, I think it was last April, when we were on a coaching call. So coaches from all over the world were on a call with Bob. And April was when everybody was feeling a lot of fear, right? This whole COVID thing was very unknown. It was
Mhm.
just really starting to take off around the world. And one of the coaches asked Bob, so Bob, how are you doing? Like, how are you dealing with this whole coronavirus thing? You know what Bob's response was? Corona what?
Yeah.
Now, he did explain. He said, well, of course I know what's going on. I keep abreast of what's important to know, but that's it. I refuse to give it any mental energy, because that gives it emotional energy and then physical energy, and I don't want to go there. So,
Mhm.
and he's always been the biggest teacher of, you create your own economy. Doesn't matter
Mhm.
COVID or no COVID, you have choice, and it all begins with how we're thinking, what we're thinking. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's understanding, or being aware of, what am I thinking right now. I told my clients to put a sticky note up on their computer. What's my vibe?
What's
Put
my
another
vibe?
one in your fridge. Put another one on your car. What's my vibe?
Mhm.
It's a good thing to kick
Mhm.
in. Wait, what is my vibe? Because we're not used to thinking about it.
No, and when you become very aware of what your vibrational level is, you can feel it when it shifts.
Oh yeah.
So I know for my clients who've started into this, they're like, at first, there's no awareness, right? We're just kind of fumbling through our life, and we're riding these emotional ups and downs. But then as your awareness grows and your control of your emotions go, you stop responding and you start reacting. You choose what you emotionally get involved with. If you can take in the news, you can look at it and say, okay, I'm aware of what's going on,
Right.
and then turn your attention. So like what Bob does. And so when you start to actually raise your level of vibration and you're more in control of your thinking, when it shifts and it goes to a negative, it's it's overwhelming almost,
Yeah.
that feeling, right? Because you're used to being on a higher level and you don't stay down at that low level. For if you go down, you don't stay there long. Like you're like, and I got to get out of this as quickly as possible because it's uncomfortable. But yet we all live there. Like I know I personally lived there for so long and didn't even realize it, you
No,
know?
it wasn't.
Yeah, and the impact that it had even on my family when I started to make this shift, my husband and my kids, the people around you will start to pick up on the vibration level that you start to put out, right?
Right.
Like it started impacting their lives to a more positive way. And now, if they do, families argue, kids argue, it's like, oh, just make it stop.
I
I
know.
don't want that.
Boy, that's one of the biggest things we can bequeath our children is the awareness of what they're thinking and dwelling on, because they can change that.
Yeah,
That's huge.
absolutely. And kids are feeling this emotional impact right now too,
Oh, absolutely, they are.
right?
We had a
They
family meeting on that, and we asked each of us. So my kids are 19, 21, and 23.
Mhm,
So two of the three of them are living with me right now. And one of the boyfriends, and we went around. What's your stress level
mhm,
because of COVID?
mhm,
And it was very insightful because you tend to hold it in, or I'll be
mhm,
okay and look after somebody else. But it's important to know where we all are,
mhm,
right? Because yeah, it's a gauge of how we're taking this in and allowing the environment, what's going on around the world, to really impact us.
mhm.
And we're not robots. We can't say it does not affect me. It does
Yeah.
not. I'm sorry. At least I can't. But we can be aware of it. Okay, okay. And so we did. One of my kids said the other night, I'm a 9 out of 10 stressed. And we
Mhm.
all went, oh,
Oh,
he wasn't showing it, but he's
right.
feeling it. It's like, oh, interesting. Okay, so that's important. And then so we can help each other. You know what? What's my motto? Together we thrive, right? It's really
Yes.
important to understand how we're feeling in this environment, and
Mhm.
that we can make changes. And we're way better together when we try to help each other.
Absolutely. And that is really great piece of advice. Like sit down and your kids, like I can do that with my kids. So mine are
Absolutely.
14, 11, and 8. So
Yeah.
yeah, ask them how they're feeling about this. And the other day we can sense that with my son. We're like, what's wrong? And he was just showing it more on his face and circumstance, not being able to be in class with his schoolmates and the lack of freedom and
Yeah.
just feeling that overwhelm. And so awareness of those emotions is key. And like what Sandy said, where you feel yourself in a negative shift and you're like, what's making me feel this way? And you could pinpoint it to something that happened yesterday. You can pinpoint it to the fact that maybe you caught the news at the wrong time or somebody said something to you, and you'll know when that shift happened. And when you become aware of these negative emotions, and you can say, Rhonda Byrne's new book, she'll say, aware awareness. Am I aware of how I'm feeling? And allowing those emotions to be let go. They're not your truth. They're not that you aren't unlimited potential, that you have gifted so much. And you're not meant to be in lack in this life. You're meant to be
No.
abundant. And
Right.
so when we shift our focus from that and become aware of what those feelings are and kind of give them respect, but it's like, okay, I'm just going to let you go now because that's
Yeah.
not how I choose. And you can kind of be free of them quicker. And so probably sitting around your table with your kids saying, what's your stress level at? And for them to just say, it is this, it's like, rather
Yeah.
than internalizing it.
Yeah. Well, and importantly, they got to hear where my husband and I are on it too. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're not, if, as parents, you're strong, and of course you're trying not to show your kids too much of your worries and stuff like that because you want to keep them. Oh, that's probably up for debate, but I won't debate that now. But for them to hear, what, so, we're going out and doing the shopping a lot, and we're doing this and that, and sometimes I feel like I'm really vulnerable, and it scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So for the kids to hear that, it's like, oh,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
interesting. Okay. It's compassion, right? It's understanding and compassion. And yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
compassion is a powerful feeling. That's a good vibe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Compassion.
Absolutely. Go do an act of service, tell
Yeah.
them, and that can be even just like find somebody that you haven't contacted in a while and give them a compliment. If paying somebody a compliment doesn't have to be, so the paying it forward, we hear a lot about paying it forward. Yeah, there are a lot of people that are in need of help right now, but maybe it's just to reach out to say, hey, how are you? I just wanted to tell you, Sandy, it's been a while and I appreciate you so much, right? Like that kind of thing can really shift your vibration and theirs. And so
Totally.
that is a powerful tool to use as well. So we're going to, okay.
Sorry, I was just going to tell you a funny story. Over Christmas, I went to our local Starbucks drive-through.
Yeah.
And there was a long lineup, and I had arrived before this other car. Long story short, this other car, I just kind of went, go ahead. So I let them first. So, but no, sorry, they let me. Okay, so they let me go, and I went, oh well, thanks. So when I get up to the window to pay, I was going to pay for the car behind me. Okay, but the gal at the window says, the car two in front of you paid for you. I went, what? You're kidding. Listen, I was just going to cut. Boom, boom, boom. There was this domino effect. It was too cool. And, gratitude is a is an energy.
Mm-hmm.
So you could actually say that everybody, in that lineup, there was an energy there that different people were picking up on.
Uh-huh.
Gratitude's an energy, which is vibration. So, yeah.
Vibration.
Share that story. I was like, that was the greatest thing.
I'm sure you and I could talk for a long time on vibrational energies and how it makes you feel. Like if you just need to get out and go for a walk, then do it, because that's one way of definitely raising your vibration. I know you do that daily, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to wrap this up. We're going to wrap this up for today. But Sandy, I wanted to thank you for being my guest here today. I kind of threw this at you in the short notice, but I really felt called intuitively to really talk about this with all that's going on right now. We are both here in Canada and in Ontario, so we're in total shutdown. We're not supposed to be going anywhere.
Yep.
So there's a lot of anxiety around that. And if you guys are feeling that, please post your comments down below, and we'll do our best to answer. And by all means, reach out so that we can help lift you up to a more positive vibration and help you get going where you need to be. If you have any questions about coaching, working with Bob Proctor, working with Sandy or I, on your mindset, on your success, also, please reach out. We'd love to help you, and maybe we can set up a discovery call. So I want to thank everybody for joining myself, Catherine Arkema, and my co-host, Sandy Rutherford, as we did our real talk from stuck to unstoppable, and empower every day of this week to just find some gratitude, find a higher vibration, make your goal to be about focusing on some positive rather than the negative.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you'll find you'll create a lot more success in your life. So please let us know if you have any questions or concerns. Bye for now.
Thank you, Catherine. Privileged to be with you.
Bye, Sandy.
Bye, everybody.